After a few weeks of indulging in exciting adventures, I am thrilled to announce that the national enemy in Sonic will officially be back this week with 4 matchups. As I lead in the first round of the quarterfinals, all eyes will definitely be on me as I mobilize my female F to put up a great battle. The most desirable matchup is between rival Man City and Bayern Munich in one of the most anticipated games of the season. Both of these big guys have had their fair share of problems this year, with their domestic league performances being very fluctuating and constantly dropping points. The number of consequences is the first in many seasons, threatening their dominance in the National League. However, the Champions League arena is always where they show their fearsome power. It's the reason why people wait in anticipation for such an attractive matchup as expected when lucky draws bring home the enemy of England and the king of the country, Germany, to face each other right in the quarterfinals. There are similarities this year. In the domestic league, both Man City and Bayern have had periods of play where they struggled, but they managed to overcome the challengers in Arsenal and Borussia Dortmund. In Bayern's race to the championship, the Bundesliga is still not finished, and the distance between them and Dortmund is only 2 points with 7 more rounds left to close. On the other hand, Man City coach's team, Pep Guardiola, is still in a position to cling to the top team Arsenal when the distance between them is only 6 points despite City having an unplayed match in hand. The match of Bayern Munich has not been really convincing, and it made the coach Julian Nagelsmann lose his seat, replaced by the Thomas coach, who is no stranger to Man City. That's how it is to wash your hair, but even if it's replaced by the general of the Allianz Arena Stadium, it's still disappointing to be eliminated from the Cup of the Country, and last week's performance at the tournament shows that the country is in turmoil. But every time the tune of the Champions League emerges, people see pictures again familiar of Man City and Bayern Munich, the same power that can crush anything. Any opponent both City and Bayern have faced in the quarterfinals after a journey where they did not meet too many difficulties to leave the obstacles afraid to think it's extremely difficult. Grey Suba Varian gently crosses the table of death by the achievement of 6 wins, absolutely against the good Barcelona. Inter Milan before disqualifying an application, other champions, and Borussia Dortmund in the round of 16, is more impressive when Bayern is the only team in the Champions League season. This one has a winning record. After 8 matches fought, Man's opponents like Dortmund or Ami make rich even though they have the softer part, but the way they crush the opponent with the score 7-0 before logic is also very impressive. Man City and Bayern Munich both showed that they deserve to be in the top 8 strong teams, best in the Champions League this season. But the fact that they faced each other in the quarterfinals ending means that only one team can win the right to continue this stage. Both City and Bayern have found themselves in stable form to correct mistakes for those who previously dropped the score. Man City is probably one of the most worthy clubs most afraid of Europe at this moment when they have had 8 consecutive matches in all competitions, scoring in which has the last 4 wins, all having a difference of 3 or more tables. The work of the green half of the city is going through days of sublimation with ecstasy of Jesselers with their personal qualities, a star army in Dutch command when in boil. This duo has set records together when Orchids hit 37 wins at Premier League in the first season playing. The ball is here, and Ryder can join the club of players who have had at least 100 assists in the Premier League. After reclaiming the top spot a year ago, the next round showed strength with a 4-2 victory over Die Kai enemy Dortmund. In the latest match, they also paid back the debt that was eliminated from the National Cup by Freiburg coach Thomas Prison. Suffering is getting off to a good start at the team's new ball, where he began to find a common language with puzzle pieces. In my hands, in the Champions League season, this award Man City proved very charming with the teams from Germany before that. Dortmund and Logic are clubs that have tasted the power of the home team Etihad. The experience in the previous round will definitely help not small for our CDs when they clash with the strongest representative from Bundesliga. Are you sure the Grey Lobster fans can sit still? Haha, I am the one leading the list of top scorers at Champions League this season with 10 goals. On the other hand, the defense of Bayern is a worry again when they only have 6 clean sheets in the last 16 matches. The most notable confrontation will lie on the training bench between the two excellent cast of Pep Guardiola and Thomas Prisoner of Suffering. They are also the two training members who appeared in the last match of the Champions League Season 2, 2020-2021, where the Tool's Chelsea was made Man City's champ dream forever. It's an unfinished dream, and it still has a debt to pay with prison in the arena of Champions League. And here is the chance. It might be better for him to do it in the context of the scene of Thomas Dry Autumn, who does not have much time to get used to the new job at Bayern Munich. However, BN also has something in his reasons when appointing a monk at this point by a rich trainer good at weather rice pickled with fish sauce and special. It's very charming with the Champions League like poor Thomas, who is expected to help the grey area go far in a football season they have had too many problems. Millet indicates that it's like a duel equal to in the previous 6 encounters. Each team has won 3. However, this is the first time that Man City and Bayern Munich face each other at a round match against love. Man City force figure will have almost a full set of the best people to go on welcoming the opponent from the country of King Den. The only name that has to sit out about a long-term injury while Bayern is a little more difficult when they don't have a real center in the scene of striker Eric Martin's super wing, more likely to sit out due to injury. Aberry or Thomas are choices. It's Thomas, who belongs to the dimension that can be taken into account for the highest position for the offensive line long. Gray with importance in the match, this is most likely both trained Pep Guardiola and Thomas Prisoners will play the best cards they have. In the hands of Man City, there is not much disturbance mix in the lineup in close matches here standing in a wooden frame. Of course, still, the address and goalkeeper above him is a quartet. The defender is playing very well, including the defender Nathanaki Rendes, Manuel Akanji, and John Stone. Securing the midfield will be set by Rory Kevin on-air Czech Jolies, and Olympics. Thailand is impossible choices replace it in the hallway on the right side there. The pair of Silva that can be used by him is who played 180 minutes in 2 turns against Adelaide. On the other side, the frontline trainer Toma may be found my favorite team after testing in the first 3 games. The fairy who guards the wooden frame will still be goalkeeper Jang Summer. A pair of central defenders most trusted created by Manchester League Va Darius U23 is expected to be the main kick. He will most likely start in the right wing corridor in when Anton shoved David to guard the corridor left wing. Leonardka is expected to return with export released after being put to rest in the game over the weekend. With between Suki Make creates the central midfield pair on the front line, the hero has scored the only win on the strong Poucher field is the Contempt League is expected to be replaced. So Shadima should not play well in the game, the match against Luani, and Samun Asia is pretty sure people in 2 positions remaining. And the highest playing player on attack will most likely be the team chief Thomas Port, with being played at home. It will not be surprising if Man City is the team that chooses the main style of play more active in the first leg match. However, it's not easy to ask Vision to play now of his own accord against a Bayern Munich team that also loves to control the ball. So, the battle where the midfield is played newspapers will be the focus of this match. The 2 front lines all in Holland and Channels are individuals who are expected to make the difference. Man City and Bayern Munich, just 2 names are enough to say attest to the quality of this confrontation before everything is decided at Aliyah Arena in a week's army. Coach Pep Guardiola and his students of Thomas under the suffering will be directed to gain an advantage for themselves in the match walking on the stage F. The stage lights up the brightest stars, and they are already present, willing to give a satisfying performance, label in the most anticipated match in this year's Champions League quarterfinals.